It's connected to you. Connected to you.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl Bianca, aka B. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? What's up? Y'all, so today, I'm gonna be bringing y'all a story time. I know this is something different, and I'm like, I need to start doing some story times. Let's get this channel lit, okay? Period. So today, my story time is gonna be when I got pregnant at 19. So I'm sure y'all probably all want to know this story, how it happened, how I told my parents, how everybody just found out. It's yeah, so let's get into it. Period. Okay, so y'all, this is when I was going to school for vocal performance right up the street at Villa Maria College. Villa Maria College is literally walking distance from my house. So y'all, this is crazy because I was talking to this guy, very sweet at first, that's how they all turn out to be, very sweet, and then things change. But so yeah, we was talking for about 3 months, and I was just man, I really like him, just the way he was. He was very motivational. He just did a lot. He was going to school, getting all these certificates for so many things. I just loved his motivation, his drive, all that kind of stuff. And he was always motivating me to finish school, do my schoolwork, and da-da-da-da-da. But when I got pregnant, I just kind of stopped going to school. Well, I was still going, but at a certain point I stopped. But yeah, we gonna get into that. But yeah, so it was the one day I was supposed to be going to class. Y'all, I had a class at 8 a.m. It was either 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. But I skipped class and I went to his house because we would sometimes hang out before I go to class. But at this time, I was just gonna be late for class. So I was just you know what? let me skip class today. I don't know what told me to do that, but oh my god, y'all, this is crazy. But yeah, so I skipped class. I went to his house. His mom, well, he stayed with his mom. His mom wasn't home. I guess she was still at work, but he was saying she gonna be home soon or whatever. So yeah, I went there. We did what we did, and I after that I left because his mom was pulling up, y'all. His mom was pulling up after we kind of did what we did. So he's like, all right, you gotta hurry up, you gotta go. And I'm like, dang, you rushing me? Dang, babe, hold up. But yeah, so then I left. I went to school, and I was y'all, I was literally shaking because when I got up, I just knew that I was pregnant. So I'm walking to class or whatever. Walking to school or whatever. I sit in the cafeteria and I'm yo, something is off. Something don't feel right. So I'm calling my best friend and I'm best friend, I think I'm pregnant. She's you not pregnant. You not. And I'm something don't seem right. Like, I just know that I'm pregnant right now. Like, why did I do that? And this and that and the third. Then she's like, girl, you is not pregnant. Like, she kept trying to tell me that I wasn't pregnant. And I'm like, girl, I really think I am. Whew. So, I waited a while. Like, one day I was out with my friends. And I took a test. It came back negative. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'm not, right? Because this is negative. But I was feeling this pain, like, all right in here. And I'm like, why do I have this pain all in my boobs area? Like, this is so crazy. Like, anything that I would lift up, like, I could just feel the pain. And my friends, they would crack jokes like, you pregnant, you pregnant. And I'm like, I don't know, y'all. Like, I might be. And, yeah. It was like crazy to me. But yeah, so like maybe like 2 or 3 weeks went by. I had a vocal performance at the school, y'all. And I'm telling y'all, I did not feel right at all. Like, my stomach was hurting. Like, I was just like, what in the world is happening? I was wearing these high heels. Like, my feet was hurting. And I'm like, yo, something just don't seem right. I just don't understand, like, how that test came back negative. But I feel like it was too early to tell. So that's probably why. But, yeah. So then I was working at Rainbow, the clothing store, y'all. So, yeah, that one day I was at work. That was probably like a couple days after the performance from school. I was at work, and like, I just kept going to the bathroom, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth to the bathroom. And like, my manager, she like, you gotta go to the bathroom again. Like, are you okay? And I'm like, you know what? I don't know. I'm like, why do I keep having to go to the bathroom? And y'all, mind y'all, my stomach looked bloated. And I'm like, why is my stomach so bloated like this? Like, this is crazy. So then I'm like, all right, I'm going to take a test again when I get home. Because I had extra tests with me, with me at the house. So, I took a test. I snuck because, you know, like, I didn't want my parents to, like, know what I was doing or knowing anything. Like, so I peed in a cup. I took it back to my room, and I put the test in the pee, like, did it the whole K9. Y'all, that test said positive. So I sent it to, oh yeah, my job, my baby father, like, I wasn't even telling him, like, I had, like, well, I did tell him that my stomach was hurting, and he was like, oh, like, you want me to come take care of you? He was like that, like, oh, like, what's wrong with my baby? Like, you want me to come take care of you? Type shit, like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yeah, you gonna have to, because, like, something wrong, whatever. But, like, I didn't really, like, you know, say too much. I didn't say, I think I might be pregnant. Like, I didn't say all of that. But, yeah, so after I had took the test and it came back positive, before I was telling him, like, I'm stressed out, and he was like, don't be stressed out and this and that and the third, it's gonna be okay. But then I sent him the test, and I said, this is why I'm stressed out. So he messaged me the next day, y'all, and y'all would not believe what this man said. Like, how could a man so sweet, so loving, so caring, just, you know, just not be who you thought he was, right? So, he told me, well, I'm pretty sure, like, you could just go get a plan B. Like, we could just, like, you know, or get an abortion or something. I'm like, excuse me? Like, you want me to abort my kid? Absolutely not. Like, I don't do that. Like, what did you think that this was? So, y'all, I was really like nervous and scared though. Like after I told him whatever, it was hard for me to go to sleep that night. Like I'm like, oh my God, like my stomach gonna get big. Like I'm just feeling my stomach and I'm like, oh my God, like this. And I went in the bathroom, looked in the mirror, like, y'all, and that night I called my sister because she was at her ex-best friend's house and they were all hanging out. And we all had like this little group text, so I sent the picture in the group text. And like I was calling them like, y'all, I'm pregnant, like what am I gonna do, like oh my God. Everybody's like, oh my God, like they was like shocked, like what, I was pregnant, this and that and third. Like I was like, I know, like what is going on? So yeah, so then the next day came and I was like, Mom, I'll be back, I'm going to the store. And then she was like, okay, like I ran to the store. When I say I ran to the store, I was speed walking to that store because I wanted to get a digital one because I had like the regular, I had Clear Blue, because y'all know Clear Blue is the best ones. But yeah, the first one I took, it wasn't digital, so I wanted to get a digital one. So y'all, and I still have I still got the picture of the pregnancy test on my phone. That's probably gonna be the thumbnail, like at this point. But yeah, so wait, let me try to do a thumbnail, like that's gonna be a thumbnail. But yeah, so I went and got the test, came back home, took it, y'all, said pregnant, and I was like, oh my God, this is insane. So then my neighbor, we was like real close, and I was like, girl, you gotta see this. Like I'm messaging her, like come outside because girl, I got something to tell you. So like I was telling her, she was like, oh my God, like she was going crazy, and I'm like, girl, I know, like I'm going crazy too. But yeah, so I told a while after that, like I told my mom I'm going to my friend's house, which was my baby father. I went to his house. I was telling her I was going to my friend's house from school, but it was actually my baby father. So yeah, like I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. So mind you, I had to work that day. So after I went to his house, I went to work. So I was just like at his house and we was talking about it, like, and I just, oh my God, he disgusts me. Like now he disgusts me because like I was at that point, I was liking the way things was going, but then when I got pregnant, like everything changed, like, you know. So yeah, like we at his house watching a movie, eating popcorn, and I'm like, y'all, I was throwing down on this popcorn, and I'm like, dang, like why am I eating popcorn like this, like like I was really like, oh my goodness. But I was like so hungry, and he was like, all right, let's go to the store, let's get something to eat, whatever. So they said it was gonna be a while for the food, so we just didn't get no food because I was like, I gotta go to work and I don't want to wait that long for no food or whatever. But yeah, so he was like, my mom is about to cook some fish, like if you want some fish you can have some. And I'm like, I don't really eat fish. That's when I really didn't eat fish at the time, but I eat fish now, y'all. I be tearing some fish up, okay? But yeah, so then I was like, oh no, I'm gonna have to go to work soon and stuff. And I was like, I don't really eat fish like that. He was like, okay. And yeah, like he was being all loving, y'all, like touching all up on me, and I'm like, boy, nah. Like, and I'm telling y'all, before his mom even got there, I was on the phone with my sister, and I was telling her how he wanted me to get a plan B, and I'm like, I think it's too late for that because the baby is already planted inside me, and I was never getting a plan B anyway. So I don't know what he thought this was, like, be for real with it, because my child is a blessing, and still to this day, like, he's a blessing, and I love him, and I think that God sent me to him sent me him for a reason. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, my whole family just loves him. Like, just his smile will light up a whole entire room. And like the way my parents just love on him and spoil him, like, it was just meant to be. It was meant for him to be here. But yeah, so he just did not want to be a father. I don't even know. But then like things started to change to where he said he about to start this job. He gonna be saving money. He gonna get us a house. He gonna get a car and other stuff. And I'm like, okay. Like, I feel you or whatever. But then he just kept saying how, you know, he want to be with me, but he didn't want to be a father. And I'm like, how did that work? How you want to be with me, but you don't want to be a father? Like, that didn't even make no sense, guys. Am I doing my shirt? I love this. God got me. I know it's kind of wrinkled, but I really love this shirt. I got this from Shein. But yeah, I did. But back to what I was talking about. Yeah, so he just kept saying like he wanted to be with me, but he didn't want to be a father. And I was like, how did that work? Like, how you want to be with me, but you don't want to be a father? Like, that makes no sense. Like, so yeah, it was just not given. So we kind of like stopped talking a little bit after that. Like, I just needed a little break from him because like I can't be pregnant and stressed out. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like I took some time away from him, and yeah, so then it got to the point where I had to tell my mother. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, but I had to tell my mom, but it was like I was so nervous to tell her because I told her like, you know, a few days after I found out. My sister, the one that y'all call my twin, she was the first one to know. So I went with her. She had went with me to like a doctor to confirm it. So we had went to this one doctor, and they said they couldn't confirm that I was pregnant. I had to go somewhere else. So then like we had went to another place, and they said that they couldn't confirm. And I'm just like, okay, like I'm just gonna have to figure this out. Wait. Now, mind y'all, when I thought that I was pregnant, I'm gonna say this, y'all. My primary doctor that I had, I don't go to her no more. And this is a specific reason. But when she retired and everything, and a new doctor came, and I still don't like them. But anyway, like, she told me that I was having growing pains, and like, I'm just having stomach pain because I'm getting older. I'm like, lady, what are you talking about? Like, I think that I might be pregnant. Like, you ain't gonna tell me that I'm pregnant or not. Like, come on, let's just get to it. Like, come on. But yeah, so that was that. But yeah, so wait, after I had went to these doctor's office and they had told me that they couldn't confirm it, I think it was that night. Yeah, that night I told my mom. So I had to test like kind of like under the sheets in my bed. It's like I was just like, I don't know how I'm gonna tell her, but I gotta show her these tests or whatever. So she had got home from work that night, and my sister was like, Bianca has something she want to tell you. And then she was like, why do y'all always do that? Like, why can't she just tell me? Da, 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 da. Like what? She like, why y'all got a tag team? And I'm just like, oh my God. So I showed her the test, and I was like, I'm pregnant, Mom. Y'all, my mom flipped out. Like, she was like, what do you mean you pregnant? Like, but after a while, things changed, and it was like, you know, it was different. But yeah, so like she like stormed out, slammed the door, like went to the store. She was just like I guess she was trying to process what I told her. But I was just like, oh my God. Like, I was scared. Like, my heart was beating. I was shaking, like, so bad. So, yeah, then my mom, she took me to lunch, and we kind of like discussed everything, and she was telling me, like, you know, things are gonna change, like, you're gonna have to, like, you don't have to be a mom, there's a lot of things that you're gonna have to do and all that kind of stuff. Now, mind you, I think, yeah, the day before she took me to lunch, I went to this OBGYN and got it confirmed that I was pregnant, and it was like, oh, do you want to do your prenatals and stuff here? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do it here and all that. But yeah, so then I was like, Mom, it's confirmed I'm pregnant. And it's just like, well, guess you're going to have to figure out how to tell your father. And it's just like, you're going to have to tell your baby father. And I'm like, already told him. And I'm like, he's kind of like skeptical at first. It was real skeptical. But yeah, so and then y'all, where was I at? So yeah, my mom took me to lunch. She was telling me, like, you know, like, you're gonna be all right though, like, everything gonna be fine. Like, she was just talking about, you know, like, oh my God, like, you know, she about to have a grandchild. She's like, I was upset at first, but I'm happy. Like, you know, who wouldn't be? Like, you know, parents who want to be grandparents, they be happy, they excited, like, yes, I'm about to be a grandmother. Mind you, this was her fourth one, because my brother, he had 2 kids. And hold on a second, y'all, hold on. Sorry, y'all, my grandma had called me to check up on your girl. You know, I love my favorite lady, always checking up on your girl and her great grand. But yeah, so where was I at? Like, I hate when I get interrupted, because I gotta figure out where I was. Oh yeah, like, my mom, she had to meet at lunch or whatever, man. Yeah, so after that, I called my sister, my oldest sister, and I told her, I'm about to tell you something that mom and my sister, well, my sister's name is Anika, I was about to say Anika. Mom and Anika already know. So she was like, okay. And mind you, it was so weird because my sister went and saw a psychic, and she was like, somebody's gonna need your help because you're experienced. And my sister, she already had a son, my nephew. Love my nephew. But like, yeah, she already had him. So it was like the psychic was telling her that I was pregnant. Huh? And I was probably gonna need her help with certain things because, you know, I'm a new mom, and, you know, she already had a kid. So, you know, it was so weird. But I was like, the fact that your psychic said that, like, we was just like going on over the phone, and she was just saying, like, you know, I love you and congratulations, like, we're all here for you and all of that. Like, you know, that's why I love my support system. Like, they're always there for me with anything, just anything, and I just love that. But yeah, so it was like, you know, after that, I went to work, and, you know, my baby father, he messaged me, and I'm just like, what the heck? Like, he just randomly messaged me, and I guess he was like, what did he even say? I think he did ask me how I was doing, and I sent him a picture because, yeah, I was starting to get a bump, and I was like, oh snap. So I sent him a picture and everything. Oh yeah, and y'all, like, when I went to when I was going to, like, different doctor's office to confirm it, I had FaceTime my best friend, and she was like, you lying. I was like, girl, I told you when I was in that bathroom that day, like, I felt like I was pregnant. But She was like, oh my God. She was about ready to cry. And I was just like, man, it's so crazy. But yeah. So, yeah, like, I was sending him a picture of the bump, and he was just, I don't know, he wasn't really, like, as interested. Mind y'all, he did not come to any, like, doctor's appointments. He only came to just one, and that was an ultrasound, and he wasn't entertained. Really? He was just like, oh, okay. Wow, that's it? Wow. And mind y'all, while we were waiting in the waiting room to go to the ultrasound, he was blasting his music. And I'm like, that's disrespectful. Like, how you just gonna blast your music like that? Like, I'm so confused. I'm like, why would you do that? But anyway, yeah, after that, he went home. He didn't care. But, yeah, so, after that, I think like a couple days later, he wanted to come over and see me, so he came to my parents' house to come see me. And we sat outside. He was trying to be cuddled up with me, and I'm like, why are you trying to cuddle up with me? And like, he was rubbing my belly and everything, and I'm just like, now, like, it's starting to seem like you're interested. Like, I don't understand. Like, he was so confusing to me. So after that, you know, he had left and went home, and it was just like, I don't understand it. And y'all, when he met my parents, he was saying like how he's gonna be there for me, he was gonna be there for the baby and all that kind of stuff. And then it turns out he just had a change of heart, you know. And that's when I found out, y'all, because when he sat down, excuse me, y'all, when he sat down with my parents, my dad had asked him, does he believe in God? And he said, no, he's an atheist. I'm like, well, you know, I would love to have a person that believes in God, because like, we're not going to think the same with certain things. And I'm like, I would have liked for you to tell me that. Like, mind y'all, we met on a dating site. Well, that's not really, so we really met at a park, like, up the street from me. And it was like, he kept trying to talk to me, and I wasn't trying to talk to him. But then, like, he found me on this dating site, and we just started talking from there. He's like, now you finally talk to me. Like, I've been trying to talk to you for the longest. And I'm like, you know what? But yeah, so I wish he would have told me that beginning stages when we were talking. But yeah, then we kind of like had a serious conversation to where he was like, I just want to be with somebody for a long time and not marry them because I don't believe in marriage. And I'm like, you don't believe in what? You don't believe in marriage? Like, come on, be for real. Like, I want somebody that's gonna marry me, like give me my dream proposal, my dream wedding, all that. Like, you know, so that's when I knew, like, all right, now we're really not gonna connect. But yeah, so yeah, I'll be all over the place with this story. Yeah, so after that, it was like, I would text him, he wouldn't text back, type thing. And then he kind of like randomly messaged me the one day I was at the grocery store with my mom, and like we were going back and forth talking or whatever. And that's when I just stopped talking to him completely. Oh yeah, I did meet him up at the park, and we tried to have a conversation. He's like, I don't want to be the father. Like, I don't want to be a father, blah, 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 blah. Like, you could just forget it, all this kind of stuff. Like, he was going in on me, and I was like, well, you know what? It is what it is. Like, I'm done with you. I'm really over it. I'm done. But, yeah, so the day before Memorial Day, around that time, Me and my mom, we told my father, and my friends was over. It was like so crazy, but like I cried telling my dad because it was like my heart was beating and everything. My mom was like, we gonna sit him down, we gonna give him a beer, and we just gonna let him drink a little bit. Like, he gonna need to process this one. So I just came right out and I told him, well, I'm pregnant, Dad. Then he was like, by who? Like, who's the father? And this and that and the third and all that. Yeah. But that was, and then after that, that was when they kind of like met my baby father and all that kind of stuff. But yeah. Yeah, so I cried and I got very emotional, and it was just a lot. My dad started crying, my mom was crying. They had their own separate conversation. They talked about it. And then, yeah, the next day we were on the way to my cousin's house for, you know, Memorial Day celebration. And me and my dad was in the car when my mom went into the store, and he said, I'm not upset. You know, I just need some time to process. And I was like, I know, I understand. Like, I told him I understand. So, y'all, let me tell y'all that, do y'all know that when we got to my cousin's house, they told everybody. They told everybody that I was pregnant. I was like, I know you lied. It was like so crazy, like how they was telling everybody. But yeah, so my family, they was very supportive. I had to tell my grandma, y'all, my grandma, it was hard, really hard telling my grandmother. Like, maybe harder than my father, because my grandma was like, y'all, she had a lot to say. I'll say that. She definitely had a lot to say. And I told my grandma and my uncle, yeah. It was like, my uncle was saying, just so you know, like, that baby is going to be loved and all this kind of stuff. Like, it's going to be okay. And yeah, my grandma she needed time to process it. But, you know, my grandma loved him ever since he was born. Like, it was just everything to her. She couldn't wait till I gave birth. She was ready. She was like, oh my God, I think it's time. Like, she would always say, I think it's time. Like, when I'm like, I'm feeling this kind of way, she's like, I think it's time. But yeah, you know, I love her. I love her regardless. But yeah, so that's the story, y'all. And I was just like, oh my God, I'm 19 years old, about to be 20. I got pregnant around, this was in 2018, around like May. I don't know, wasn't it May? Yeah, around May. That's when I found out it was like in May. But yeah, so I was pregnant on my birthday. But yeah, I was like about to be 20 is what I was saying. I was about to be 20. I'm like, I'm 19, about to be 20. What am I gonna do with a baby? And then the father don't even want to take part. Like, it was like so crazy to me. But you know, it is what it is, because man, he is love. I'm gonna put some pictures in here of like when I was pregnant, because I was literally all baby. Like, it was crazy. I was all baby. And like I had morning sickness like crazy, morning, evening, night. Like, I could not keep nothing down, and that was throughout my whole entire pregnancy. It didn't end, it didn't stop. But yeah, so that's it, y'all. I should do another video like telling y'all like my pregnancy experience. I did kind of like, in this video, I kind of like told y'all like my baby father and everything, but I didn't disclose too much about my experience. So if y'all want to see a video of me like talking about my experience, of like being pregnant, like all of my symptoms and everything like that. Like I could do another video on that, but make sure y'all like this video. Give this video some likes if y'all want to see me talking about my experience of being pregnant. But yeah, y'all, that's the story. Oh yeah, and also when me and my brother was close, like I had to tell him, and it was not easy telling my brother, and he said some really hurtful things that, you know, I don't think I really want to disclose in this video because it was just too much going on with that when I told him. So I'm just gonna leave that like it was. But yeah, a lot of my family was very happy for me. They were excited, and you know, some weren't, but you know, after a while it was different. You know, after he was born, everybody loved him, and how could you not, you know? It was everything, you know, and I'm just so happy that he's in my life. Like, he's the best thing that ever happened to me. But yeah, so make sure you guys like, comment, and you subscribe to the channel. And as always, I wish you guys all peace, love, and happiness. And if you guys want to see more videos like this of my story time, because I have a lot of stories that I could tell y'all, okay? Like, make sure you guys remember, always remember, that you, yes, you, can be your own motivation. Bye. Mwah.